Alrighty, guys. This is Jonathan Holtz here from the Greatest Life Story University and the Greatest Life Storytelling Podcast. Now, I'm here to tell you more about the Happy Life formula. This is just a very simple formula that I recognize these are the key ingredients that you have to have in order to develop a fully happy life. Now, we call it the happy life formula is the growth cycle, and then we have what we call the unhappy life formula, which is the diminishing cycle. And of course, if there's a formula for happiness, there's going to be a formula for unhappiness too. And what I've got here, you'll see that faith and trust allows plans and visions to flourish. Those visions bring passion and joy to our lives and to the equation that we experience within it. Passion and joy, though, help to generate focus and stability. That focus brings awareness and sees the bigger picture of life. And of course, seeing the bigger picture also allows us to have more faith. This is such a simple concept, but let me explain it a little bit further for you. See, if you have faith and if you have trust, which I'm going to tell you right here, right now, everybody has faith and trust. Anybody who says that they mistrust something just means that they trust that something negative is going to happen instead of trusting something positive. So, really, when you mistrust somebody because you feel like they're going to tell you a lie, or maybe that they are lying to you, well, what that is that you actually trust them to be lying to you or to hurt you or to do something in the negative. That's what your trust is. And when you mistrust somebody, oftentimes it causes a sense of anxiety because it causes this disconnect within ourselves. And the problem with that is that you're not recognizing your own instincts on the fact that what it is that you actually do trust. You do trust that person to lie to you or to hurt you. Maybe if you're in a relationship, you are trusting that person to cheat on you, for example. Now, if that's the case, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to cheat on you, but it also means that you're going to act and behave in a way as if they already are cheating on you. And it will cause problems regardless. Because what's happening is that trust, that faith that you have in either direction, if you have trust that they're going to stay loyal to you, then your vision around you and their relationship is going to be that of a bonding loyalty sort of relationship. But if you are feeling that they're cheating on you, the second you leave the house or something like that, you are now thinking, oh God, can I really trust this person? And you start thinking that you might trust them to do something that they shouldn't if they're really committed and loyal to you. And so the vision changes into a terrible, terrible sort of vision. But here's the thing, that vision that brings passion, it brings joy when it's in the positive, right? When you are in love and you trust the person you're with, things in your mind are just so glorious and so just splendid that you don't even have a care in the world because everything feels so good. And this is just the same thing with everything. If you have a business and you're running a business, or if you're concerned about even just making bills and for your rent, you might have faith and trust that it's going to be difficult. And if you do that, you're going to put stress on your own body. But if you have faith and trust that things are going to work out, then what you do is you give life a sense of openness that frees you and frees life for you so that it can actually work out in a positive way. Now, most of us, we have trust in our own capabilities to go ahead and get out there and make a difference and collect the money we need so that we can pay rent and things like that. But sometimes what we do is we trust that it's going to be hard, and that trust that it's going to be hard makes it harder for us. And then as it gets harder for us, we get into the cycle of thinking, oh no, it's already hard. It's going to get even harder now. And oh no, it's going to get even harder now. And that puts us even further and further behind. But oftentimes, if we just open up ourselves to trust and we see the vision of our business flourishing or our lives being able to grow in ways that we can't even imagine, that there's always going to be money, that we're always going to have money, that we have that trust, that we have that faith that things are going to work out, then we act and behave in a different way. And as long as we know that within ourselves, we're going to make it work and that we're going to have these things, life for us will shift dramatically and we will actually be able to live a more happy, successful life. So those visions, having that positivity allows you to focus more on the things that you're happy about rather than things that are upsetting you. And so when you focus on those things, it also helps to breed a sense of stability because then you find yourself in a state of gratitude, appreciating things and continuing to work hard because you know you've earned it and that you do deserve it. So as you're focusing on these things, you're going to build more awareness of what's important, awareness of what's necessary for you. And that'll help you to start beginning to see the bigger picture of where you fit in all of this and allow you to really start looking for more of those things that you're passionate about. But at the same time, it's going to allow you to a chance to grow in such a big, beautiful way that as you do this, you will find things line up for you in such a beautiful way that you will inevitably have even more faith and trust in the process of things. This is the beauty of the happy life formula. And these are the things that every super successful person in the world that is truly happy lives by. So if you can generate all of this, having faith within your relationships, having faith within your finances, having faith within your children, having faith within your spouses and your coworkers, to all do a good job, to all have a happy life, and to have all of these wonderful things. If you can have faith in those things, and even have faith that when things get hard sometimes, that it will all work out, then you'll be free to live happy, happy lives. So here's the unhappy life formula, the diminishing cycle. Fear takes the place of faith. It creates an anticipation of pain and further discomfort. That's what fear really is. It's an anticipation of pain or further discomfort. And so that discomfort and pain, well, that creates sadness and exhaustion. So anytime somebody gets hurt, they immediately will start to feel sad or even like their energy gets drained. The only other time that doesn't happen is if they skip the sadness part and go straight into anger, because sadness often turns into anger and it eventually turns into judgments. So when we get hurt, suddenly we get angry because we don't want to feel sad. Feeling sad makes us feel powerless. So oftentimes we want to feel like we have some sense of power. Even if we don't have some sense of power, we want to express that we do have some sense of power, and it often turns into anger. But then what ends up happening is we create these harsh and very critical judgments. We create these viewpoints of life. We create these rational experiences that say, you know what? This guy cheated on me. All men are pigs. All men are monsters. Or maybe this gal cheated on me or broke my heart, and all women are the same, or all women are terrible. And so people create these terrible judgments off of the pain that they feel. And they don't want to let that go because they're only fearing that they're going to have more pain and even more discomfort. And these are things that we got to heal. Ladies, we got to heal. We got to heal from all of this, everybody. Otherwise, it's going to keep going. And that anger is going to damage our support systems. It's going to turn into uncertainty because that anger is going to hurt the people around us. It's going to annoy our bosses, hurt our clients. It's going to hurt our relationships. The woman or man that you love, that you cherish, if you become angry and it starts to turn into these critical judgments, then what's going to eventually end up happening is it's going to be something that you don't want to live a life like with. And you're going to push them away, hurt them, drive them away, or maybe even, you yourself run away. And that's not healthy. So these uncertainties, of course, create insecurity, and that generates even more fear. Because then what ends up happening is, if, let's say, we're getting threatened at work to lose our job, well, now we have fear, and that's an anticipation of further discomfort. Now, here's the thing: if you're getting threatened to get fired from your job, you could stop and ask yourself, well, if I have faith in myself, I can get another job just fine. Problem solved, even if you are in fear of losing your job. But you could also say, you know what? I screwed up at job, and now I'm being threatened at my job, and now I'm being threatened to lose my job. If I can just have faith that I can turn this around and do the right thing from now on and push forward, I'll keep my job. Now, obviously, don't stay in toxic environments, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, even if you're working for somebody else, you should feel like you are employing yourself. You are your own boss. If you are not your own boss, you're giving your power away, and then you're giving somebody else authority to basically dictate if you're going to live a happy existence or not. This goes with work. This goes with relationships. This is just how it is. You have to have your own sense of power over your own self. You are a divine vessel for yourself and your own life experiences. So keep that in mind, that you are your own boss. That doesn't mean, go to your boss and say, I want a raise, or I quit right here, right now, because maybe you didn't done enough to deserve a raise at this point. Maybe you have. Maybe now is a good time, actually. But that's up for you guys to decide and understand if that's truly the case. But this is how it works, right? The fear replaces the faith. It damages things. But when we experience, and I'm going to go ahead and move to the next slide here. And when we experience that fear and that insecurity, that's going to be the thing that attacks the passion and joy. Because pain and discomfort, or sorry, the fear and insecurity attacks the faith and trust, and then generates that anticipation of pain or discomfort. That pain or discomfort eats away at our passions and our joys. And when that happens, we start to get deflated. We start feeling exhausted and sad, because we're no longer seeing the bigger picture or understanding what is happening in our lives, because you're not supposed to be in pain. That's the wonderful thing about life, is you're not supposed to live in pain. Now, doesn't mean we can't experience pain and that you're not supposed to experience pain from time to time. It's more or less, you're not supposed to stay in it. And I explain this a little bit more in the video around the emotional brick. So pay attention and look for the emotional brick video that I have up. So when that sadness and exhaustion comes in, it takes away that bigger picture, the ability to see, and our particular awareness of ourselves and in our lives. And once that starts to happen, that sadness, like I said, turns into anger, and that anger and judgment totally ruin our plans, totally ruin our vision for the future, and start creating a whole different vision, a whole different plan, one that is more based around our egos, or oftentimes based around some terrible nightmare fantasy that we concoct within ourselves, just because of a fear or a pain that we experience that we haven't gotten over. And so then that, of course, like I said, breeds that uncertainty. It destroys our stability because it changes our focus, and things eventually start to crumble and fall apart, and the ground beneath our feet starts to give. And once we feel that stability being gone, well, then that's like the ice cracking when you're standing on top of a lake. Suddenly you are painfully aware of this thing called fear all over again. And you are just praying that you don't fall through the ice, that you don't lose that job, that you don't have something happen that causes you even more pain. So that's what this is all about. This is how this happy life formula works. And if you download my PDF off my website, www.thegreatestlifestory.com, and you sign in for the email and you get the PDF. So when you do that, it has even more information through it, some just simple exercises to help get you even more energy in your life and back into your life, and to help kind of reset you a little bit faster on the path to the happy life formula. Rather than being stuck in a diminishing cycle, you guys will be more so in the growth cycle. I want you guys to grow. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening and joining in on this episode on YouTube. I hope this has been very informative. May you guys be blessed, and please reach out if you have any questions. You guys know how to contact me through my email, or just even comment on this video, and I'll do my best to answer each and every one of your guys' concerns or questions to the best of my ability. Thank you so much, and have a great day.